Hi, I'm Dale Scott, and I'm with the Body, Mind, Spirit Show. And you'd like to know a little bit about the show? Is that what you're saying? Okay. I bought the show from Joanne Marchuk. I was a diehard. I was one of those guys that had to come to the show every year. And when I found out she was going to shut it down, I said, no, 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 no. We can't be doing that. So that's when I came into the program. My whole trip with the spirituality is I lost my daughter who was 14 to cancer. So then I started on a spiritual quest, I like to call it, trying to figure out the whys. I'm not sure if I still know the whys, but I understand more of it. Everything we go through for a reason, so we can help someone else go through the same thing when and if it ever occurs to them. So it's part of the knowledge of the trip that we're on. And that's kind of the journey that I've been on with the Body, Mind, Spirit Show. A few years ago, it was myself, my son, and my grandson, and my son's got so busy he stepped back, but I'm refusing to let go yet. And I think that we have to build a strong spiritual community here in Winnipeg, so I want to do my part. Well, we've changed. We steady change. It's growth. We have lots of new exhibitors. We have lots of the exhibitors we've had in the past, and it's a balance. They're trying to find the right people with the right heart. And to me, I do reading myself. My sister's in there for this show, and she does readings. It's been in our family for years. And I had offered a reading to a guy one time, and he was from Alabama, and he said, "Son, you're not going to read my cards." And what happened was, a little while later, he said, "Son, you got them cards, fetch them on out." He said, "First I have to feel the heart, read the heart of the reader." Because just like if you go to a movie, you have your version of how that movie is. The next person, if they see it in a different way. So to me, spirituality is the same people. We're trying to build a community here, but we want the community to have the same kind of love of spirituality that we do. Well, the Aquarian and us, we go back a long ways. And it has evolved as well since Christy's taken over, and it's similar, but it's got a different flavor, we'll call it, because I think everything has flavors. We used to really document where all of our advertising came from, and the majority of our advertising when we first got going was all through the Aquarian. So we've become a very strong partner with the Aquarian, and that's why in the 25th year, I actually went to Christy and I said, "We have to give back to you guys for what you've done to the community. You have carried the load for a long time, and we, as I say, we as the Body, Mind, Spirit Show, we want to help you to be acknowledged for what you've done. You've done so much. You're the one that plods along every day. You're putting out these quarterly magazines, and the rest of us, we pop up here, pop up there, but you guys are the ones that carry the spiritual world throughout the year. And for that, kudos to you guys, because I know it's a lot of hard work." Well, in October, we're going to, like I said, we're going to partner with the Aquarian, and we're going to offer free admission for people, because we want the people to find out that there's something out there, something else out there. Because if you take the word dis-ease, it's not at ease. And we want to help them find the ways to find the ease, to find that peace, to find their happiness, that inner joy. I was talking to one of my guys from work the other day, and he'd had a few issues, one thing and another, and I called him into the office, and we sat down and we're talking, and I said, "I might be out in left field with this one, but I don't think you're happy." And he looked at me, he almost cried, and he said, "You're right." So it's not just a one-day event. Spirituality is something that you carry day in, day out. It's taking the time to walk to the homeless person and say, "Can I buy you lunch?" It's carrying that whole process, that whole thinking, and taking it farther. And that's what I think the Aquarian does. They show so many options out there for the community. If you're struggling, if you're having trouble, read the book, find out what the options are there, read the articles, and then sometimes I always had heard the expression, we all say the same thing, we just say it in a different way. So it can be the smallest thing that just triggers in our head saying, we have that little aha moment, and then you start on a different path, a different journey, and you just twist something ever so slightly, and it's there. It's everything's there that you want. I really believe the universe is not to try to stop you from being happy. The universe tries to make you happy. It's our ego and all of this other stuff that gets in the way. You know, we say, I'm going to do it my way and all of this, but if you let that go and just go and enjoy, the joy's there. Be happy. I mean, it's said 1,000 ways and 1,000 times, but if there's one thing I could say is take the time to be happy. Enjoy this moment, because this moment is the only moment we have, right? So if you have that whole thing and you think to yourself, have I made somebody smile today? Have I made somebody laugh today? Sometimes when I'm going through Tim Hortons, I'll stop and buy the coffee for the guys behind me. I remember being in a restaurant one time in Selkirk, and I was watching a lady and her 3 little children, and you could tell they were counting their money on how much they had. It was their one day out because they didn't have much money. So I walked over and asked if I could pick up the check for them. And she said, but I don't know you. And I said, you don't have to know me. I said, it's just somebody offering to buy you lunch and there's no strings attached. And I think if everybody could get in that concept where we just have to give the helping hand to those that need it, the world would be a better place. And when the world is a better place, we're in a better place. And it just grows from there. And the Aquarian is the key to for us to find the way to help people.